On the way to work, Tony passes George at school and he notices that George is sitting by himself. He asks George what's wrong and he says he's being bullied. Tony decides to confront the bully, telling him he's an escaped lunatic and if he doesn't stop bullying people, he's going to kill him. He makes another quick stop to call in to his dad and also see Emma. Emma asks him how his date went last night and he says it was absolutely terrible and he's never going to do it again. Tony finally gets to work and himself and Lenny interview this woman that makes rice pudding out of her own milk. She offers them some and Tony does his best to try not to gag. Back at the office we meet Brian. Now Brian's been trying to get into the newspaper for years and only now has Tony given in to come over to his house. When they get to his house, it's a complete tip. There's boxes and bags just piled up against the walls and Tony thinks it's a complete waste of time for them being there. Sandy thinks that she can find a story, so as Tony heads off, herself and Lenny stick around to see if they can find anything. Brian shows them around his home and is even nice enough to give them a small puppet show. Back at the office, things aren't as good for Tony. His boss Matt tells him that a child at his son's school was threatened by a man with a hammer. He tells Tony that he knows it was him and he has to stop taking out his depression on other people. Tony tries to tell him that he only wanted to protect George from the bully, but Matt won't listen to him. Tony leaves work and decides to go see Anne at the cemetery. He tells her how he no longer wants to go through life and die someday, but that he wants to start living again. Anne is happy when she hears this, and it seems to be a turning point in how Tony sees the world. When he gets back to work, Sandy has finished her article on Brian and she asks Tony to read it. Tony is really impressed with what she wrote and he says that it could be the front page of the next paper. After work, Tony goes to see Daphne and he offers her his condolences.